How's it going, YouTube? This is Skul, and welcome to my 2026 movie collection tour. I've been looking forward to showing this to you guys for a long time. We got moved into our house last year. I got my movie set up. I've been slowly collecting more and more movies throughout all of 2025. And finally, I'm ready to show it all to you. My movies, my setup, everything. So before we start, I want for you all to let me know in the comments what other videos you'd like to see from me this year. Trust me, I'm going to be going into depth on pretty much everything you see here in future videos. My 4K collection, my LaserDisc collection, my Disney clamshell collection, a lot of subsets, all kinds of things. See that giant Zootopia 2 poster behind me? Well, I've got a collection of Zootopia as well, and Zootopia 2 when it comes out on home video in March. I've got a lot of stuff coming out, so make sure you're subscribed. Let me know in the comments what more you want to see, and also in the comments, let me know what movies you collect, and I want to hear from you guys about all that stuff. So, first things first, what good is a movie collection unless you have the best screen money can buy to watch it on? This is my screen of choice in this house. This is a Sony A95K. This was voted as the single best consumer television of the year of its release, 2022. I'm very proud of this $3,000 TV I got for free. It is awesome. This is a 65-inch OLED television. It is amazing. Like watching movies, playing games, TV shows, everything you can think of is phenomenal on this screen. So I've had this now for 3 years and I have no interest in ever upgrading as long as this still works because, I mean, look at it. It looks amazing. I may have had the TV for several years now, but a new addition is an actual sound system to go with it. In my whole life, I've only ever had TV speakers until now. As of just a month ago, we decided to bite the bullet and get a sound system. The eventual goal is 5.1, at least while we live here. Right now, it is 3.0, and even that is amazing. So, the very first thing that you need for a sound system is an AV receiver, and this is a nice one from Yamaha. I forget the exact model. It'll be a tag right now. You should see it on your screen. This is capable of 5.2 surround, and guys, stuff going through this is incredible. This is a tremendous AV receiver. Cannot recommend it enough if you're going for a 5.1 surround. We got our main center speaker here from Klipsch. I don't know how to pronounce that. Maybe I got it right, who knows? And then we got two side speakers as well, also from Klipsch. These are actual proper demo-worthy professional grade speakers. These are close to as good as you can get for the money. It's really, really awesome. So being able to play anything through these has been awesome and incredible. It's been a game changer when it comes to listening to things. I have rewatched movies and played video games, and so has my wife, just to experience it through these speakers. And man, I did not realize how much I was missing out by not having speakers until now. Again, by the end of this year, we'll upgrade this from a 3.0 setup to a 5.1, and you betcha I will be showing that off in detail. Let's go over all the stuff that's actually hooked up to these. So right here, we've got my 4K player. This is a Panasonic UB820. This is considered essentially the best 4K player that you can get, or close to it. Not much to really say about it. It's just the go-to 4K player. We got my Japanese DVD player here to play Japanese DVDs and all Region 2 DVDs in general. Over here is the Switch 2 dock. My PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X are upstairs usually, hooked up to my capture setup. But whenever I want to play games down here, I just bring them down here, plug it in to the same HDMI cable as this, and it just works. And in the meantime, we have this set up down here so that my wife can play whatever she wants, whenever she wants. We got my VCR right here, just a standard Orion VCR. It is mono, I know, I am sourcing a stereo VCR. Not really a priority, but it will happen. And finally, my LaserDisc player. This is a Pioneer CLD S104. It's a perfectly capable LaserDisc player. And guys, watching LaserDiscs on this setup with proper surround sound and with a picture quality that rivals DVD, it's a game changer. I've seen discs that are older than I am that look and sound better than modern theatrical movies. Isn't that crazy? So over here I have my second TV. This is a 50-incher from Panasonic. It's a plasma. And the most important thing, this is a 3D television. I have a 2D movie playing right now for the sake of you guys watching, but trust me, this thing does 3D and it does it incredibly well. I love 3D. It is still a perfectly valid way of watching movies. In fact, for a lot of movies, it's my preferred way of watching them, even above 4K, if you can believe it. And as long as I have this TV, I'm able to do it. So this TV requires active shutter glasses. So these, they require being charged up before you use them every time, but it produces a superior image to the glasses you're used to using in, say, movie theaters, which are passive. These actively shut the lenses to produce a nice, clean image, free of motion blur. And guys, watching 3D movies on this screen with these kind of glasses is amazing. Oh! You were wondering about the droid. About my R2. Well, stay tuned. I got more to talk about him later. This wall is one of my favorite in the whole house because this is where my movie collection is. Well, the vast majority of it anyway. There is an organization to it. If we were to start over here, you see this one really grabs people's attention. This is my shelf of home-recorded VHS tapes. My dad spent most of the 80s and 90s just recording films and TV shows onto tape, and he cataloged them, and I still have all of them. If you can believe it, I actually even watch a lot of them. So if I were to pick just, I don't know, random tape here. So this one, as you can see, is number 95, and on here is Bone and Gray Part 3 and Von Ryan's Express. I don't know what those are, so let me go ahead and pick a tape that I actually know what the movies are, at least some movie. So here we go. Number 92 here would be the Guns of Navarone. Tremendous film, by the way. If you guys have never seen it, you are missing out. And American Graffiti, George Lucas's first big hit film, the film he made before Star Wars. So both the films are on this tape. They were recorded off of a TV sometime in the 80s/90s, and they're on these tapes. This is still a perfectly valid way of watching these tapes. Is it the best quality? Absolutely not. I would love to get 4Ks of both these films someday. But in the meantime, this is just a great time capsule. It's just a great look at what it used to mean to own a home video collection. This used to be how most people watched movies, is they would record movies off of the TV whenever it was being broadcast and then just rewatch them on really old, really bad tapes. And it goes all the way to the ceiling almost, and all the way down here to the bottom of the floor. And this pile here is actually, I just got this today. So I found a box that I never unpacked after we moved here, and it contained a lot of tapes and small tapes, these VHSCs. I need to go through these. You could put these tapes into an adapter like this and put it in a VCR and watch them that way. These are the tapes, these small tapes you would put in a camcorder way back in the day. So you would record stuff on there, put it in this adapter, and put the adapter into a tape player, and that's how you would watch them. So I still need to go through those and see what all is on them. Man, it's just crazy that I am, you know, 33 years old, and there is still stuff that's been in my collection longer than I've been alive that I still don't know what all's in there. It's pretty cool. Speaking of pretty cool, let's move on to this next shelf. This is probably my favorite shelf of my collection because these are all of my Blu-rays, 4Ks, and TV shows. So up here at the top, we just have all of my favorite box sets. Got like Star Wars Trilogy, Star Wars Blu-ray, Lord of the Rings stuff, the original Star Wars videotapes and stuff. I just love these old collector's edition stuff. Just, you know, big boxes grab people's attention. I love it when people come in and the first thing they see when they look over here is, well, probably the tape shelf, let's be honest, but they see those and then they see everything underneath it, and it just makes it more of my own. So let's go over everything in detail. My stuff is organized as such. This top shelf is as follows. So the first things you see here are my, you can come a little closer, my gold Disney Walmart 2016 holiday Blu-rays. I own a complete set. I made a video about that late last year. So in 2016, Walmart re-released 11 Disney films in these collectible slipcovers, and it's just a slipcover that looks like a gold present. And there's 11 of them, and I have all 11. 10 of them are right here, and number 11 is Zootopia, which I keep in my Zootopia collection. Next up are my Disney 100 Blu-rays. I'm going for a complete set. There are, man, what's 48 minus 17? There are 31 Blu-rays. I'm currently missing, well, a lot. Anyway, and then come my Disney 100 4Ks. So, they look like this. They were Best Buy exclusives. Again, there are 17 of those, and I have, I think, 10, so I'm missing 7. So they go there. Next up are my Disney Plus Steelbooks, and I own a complete set. Man, I just love that you don't need to be subscribed to Disney Plus to see The Mandalorian in full 4K or to watch Andor in full 4K. And of course the MCU stuff, so we got Hawkeye. I watched this, I should have watched this last Christmas. I'm still knocking myself that I didn't. Of course, WandaVision, perhaps the best thing that Marvel has put out since Endgame so far. Man, I just love that Disney was kind enough to give us a complete Disney Plus release on physical media, and I own it all. The next cubicle are my Star Wars 4Ks. So obviously I have all 11 films. The Mandalorian and Grogu releases this year. That'll be film number 12, and I'm going to put it in chronological order, so it'll go right there. Followed by these. These are actually my Japanese Star Wars releases. So when we went to Japan in 2025, I made it a point to go out and buy the Star Wars saga in Japanese. So that's what this is. So these are the first 6 films, and then I also picked up The Force Awakens because that is my favorite Star Wars film. And we got that right here. And at first it looks the same, but trust me, it is in Japanese. I'm learning Japanese, and I've found that watching familiar movies in Japanese is actually a really good way of learning the language. That's a tip for anyone. If you're learning a foreign language, watch a movie that you already know every single word, and watch it in the language you're trying to learn. You might surprise yourself. Next up are my Disney Animation 4Ks. I own every single film from Disney Animation that has gotten a 4K release so far. You might be looking at this and saying, well, wait a minute, you're missing like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Well, my Disney 100 Steelbooks cover those. I've considered picking up the normal releases as well, just to make it look a little more complete, but I already own it once. I don't see a point in owning it anymore. But yeah, Snow White is up here. Moana's up here. Do I have Encanto? Yeah, I've got Encanto. And I think the only other ones worth noting are Zootopia, which is upstairs, and Zootopia 2, which releases in March, which I will also put upstairs. Otherwise, every single Disney animation so far in 4K right here. And the rumor is that Alice in Wonderland is getting a 4K release later this year. Oh man, I love it when Disney has been on top of their game lately with their restorations, and some of these films look better than the day that they released. It's just, as a Disney fan, it brings me a lot of joy. Next cubicle are my Pixar 4Ks. It's a lot more scattered. This is more of a long-term process trying to collect all of these, but I am getting there. The only one really worth pointing out is that this Inside Out is actually a Blu-ray, not a 4K. I am working on getting a 4K to replace that. Inside Out on Blu-ray is the only one among this collection that the Blu-ray is the highest that I have, so I'm going to replace it with a 4K soon. I really wanted to get this video made after my copy of Inside Out 2 showed up, but it didn't, so whatever. I'm in a constant state of ordering and pre-ordering 4Ks, and if I waited for every single thing to come, I would never get this video made. The next cubicle is my Marvel Cinematic Universe films. Blu-rays and 4Ks, I'm not really picky on which one it is. I believe as of now, I own 2/3 of all MCU films. Physically, I'd like to say that Fantastic Four First Steps was number 37, and I have 24. That sounds right. But yeah, so my MCU films go here, and I'm running out of space, so at some point I'm going to have to rearrange this entire bookshelf to make everything fit, but until I do, I'm perfectly happy. You can back out a little bit because it's not really worth going over in too much detail, but this section and this section, these entire two shelves, are all the rest of my Blu-rays and 4Ks. So yeah, if it's not in one of those subsets, I just put them here in alphabetical order. I've got a wide variety of stuff, and I will be going over my complete 4K collection in a future video, and I'd be willing to go into detail over every single movie that I have as well. If you guys are interested, leave a comment below. But I've got just a wide variety of stuff here. I've got the ones that everyone has, like I've got Blade Runner on 4K, but then I also have stuff that a lot of people don't have, like I've got Batman Mask of the Phantasm on 4K. I love 4K. You guys saw the TV that I have. It's so nice being able to watch movies in the best quality ever. It's really cool. It's a great incentive to go back and watch movies I haven't seen in a while. Then again, I've also seen films like 3 times in a single year because it just looks that good on the screen. And then right here at the tail end is just a collection of random stuff that's not really a movie, not really a TV show. Like I've got this collection of IMAX nature documentaries. I've got Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure on Blu-ray, Disney Movie Club exclusive, and this Disney collection of short films. So they just go here, where I don't really think that there's a good place to put them anywhere else. Next section are my 3D Blu-rays, and I'll be going over these in detail as well in the future, but I love collecting 3D movies. You guys saw my 3D TV. It's great that 3D movies exist. Less and less these days, unfortunately. There's a lot of films that I would have loved to get on 3D if they released, but they never did. Oh well. But there's like a 10-year period where 3D movies were put out on 3D Blu-ray and you could just go and get them. And again, I've got stuff that most people have, like I've got the 3D copy of The Force Awakens with this nice lenticular cover. Some other highlights include Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, a phenomenal film in 3D. Again, I'll be going into detail on this in the future, but another standout to me is Flight of the Butterflies from Shout Factory. This is special to me because when we were in college, we went to an actual IMAX theater at the zoo, and they showed this, and it was in 3D. And when I found out they gave it a physical release on 4K and 3D, I had to get it. Now I can watch it in the best possible format whenever possible. Of course, I don't exactly have an IMAX theater in my house or anything. The next section over here are my HD DVDs. I try and pick them up whenever I find them, which is very rare. This is a perfectly valid way of watching these films. They're usually pretty cheap when you do find them. If you don't know what HD DVD was, it was a short-lived competitor to Blu-ray. I think it died in less than a year after it came out. And unfortunately, a lot of these have disc rot like you wouldn't believe. Like Planet Earth, I can't even load to the menu because it's so rotted, it just can't make it that far. But then there's other films here, like Transformers. It looks great. It plays flawlessly. There's not a single problem with it. And again, the quality is as good as Blu-ray. So whenever I have the opportunity to pick up HD DVDs, I do. Sometimes they're duds, but other times you can get a nice HD copy of a movie for pennies. And I mean literal pennies. It's awesome. Then here are just some empty Redbox cases that I've got. Nothing special about them. The entire next shelf and a half is my Pokemon collection. So I made a video a few years ago about my entire Pokemon home video collection. It's all here. I am down to only missing 3 or 4 seasons of the show. I am missing the final season of XY, the final season of Sun and Moon, and the first and last seasons of Pokemon Journeys. Those are the only 4 seasons that I'm missing. And my plan is to finish that up this year so I can watch the entirety of Ash's journey from beginning to end. Then we have my movies on DVD. And a lot of these I've had since before I met my wife, actually, who's holding the camera. Man, there's just something nostalgic about picking out an old DVD of Pokemon the first movie and just remembering when it came out, what a joy it was. There happens to be a cat, by the way. Hi, Binks. Isn't he a good boy? He's here. He's trying to help out, make the video. I got a few Japanese Pokemon DVDs here. I do have a Region 2 DVD player, as I showed before, so I do have a way of playing these natively. So, let's see here. I've got Pokemon the first movie. I've got Mewtwo Returns. My favorite Pokemon movie, Pokemon Heroes. I have The Legend of Thunder, and this Japanese rental DVD is the only way of watching this in its original uncut version. Man, I don't know what 4Kids was thinking with dubbing that, but they did not do well. And then this is one of my grails. This is the first 13 Pokemon movies in a single complete package on Blu-ray. This is the only time that these 13 films have gotten a Blu-ray release in Japan, and they look amazing. Oh man, I love it. And they have the English dub on them too, so it's the best way to watch these films, and I'm glad I got it when I did, because, man, these got expensive. Speaking of Blu-rays, right here are my Pokemon Blu-rays. I have every single Blu-ray that has been released so far. There's still quite a few movies that haven't gotten a Blu-ray release, but if and when they release, I will put them here. Got my Angry Video Game Nerd Blu-ray. It's the first 100 episodes, and man, it looks amazing on physical media. Next cubicle is Sword Art Online. I own almost the entirety of the show. They just released Gun Gale Online Season 2. I haven't gotten that yet. Yet more money. SAO is not cheap to collect. Each of these are hundreds of dollars each, so you do the math. But man, I love SAO. It's my favorite anime, and owning it physically on Blu-ray is great because then I get to watch it in the highest quality whenever I want. Plus, they come in these beautiful collector's editions with art and extras. It's awesome. This cubicle is my wife's anime collection. It's not very big, but it is nice. Bottom shelf here, most of my TV shows. I've got a couple seasons of The Simpsons. I'm working on getting more. Got a complete series of Home Improvement, my favorite TV show of all time. I rewatch this annually, sometimes more than once a year. The entire show from beginning to end. This is my favorite show. Got the entirety of WKRP in Cincinnati. I've got all the Muppet Show seasons that I've released. There's only 3 out of 5, but there's great stuff here. Planet Earth. If you've never seen this, this is one of the must-see documentary TV shows of all time. From the Earth to the Moon. It's a mini-series by HBO. It's made by the same people who made Apollo 13. If you liked Apollo 13, you'll like this. It goes over the entire Apollo program. Speaking of which, we're only a few weeks away from humans returning to the moon. Why is nobody talking about this? Finally, we have my Pokemon VHS tapes. My eventual goal is to get an entire set from Season 1. I already have a lot of them, and I just have a lot of nostalgia for these tapes, of seeing these designs in a store, and if I could find one specifically. Yeah, so like I have like a specific memory of seeing this like in a Blockbuster on a shelf, just begging people to come and buy it or rent it. Like, as a 90s kid, just seeing these tapes is just such a nostalgic rush. And again, eventually I hope to own every single tape from Season 1. It's a long-term goal, and I don't know where I'm going to put them all, because as you see, I'm kind of out of room as it is with what few I have, but it's something I really, really want. As a kid of the 90s, I feel like I'm obligated. You're probably wondering what these paintings are. Well, my sister actually made these. So this is me driving some Main Street cars at Walt Disney World, and this is my wife scuba diving at Epcot. These are based off of real pictures that were taken. Like, we really did this stuff. It was a amazing trip. It was the last trip that we took together as a family before my mom died, and my sister painted these as gifts to us for Christmas that year. So I thought, you know, it's such a personal thing, and it looks great in the living room. It really rounds out this area pretty well too. So that's what those are.
Okay, we're Where are we starting? Are we here? Are we here?
I guess I'll just go ahead and show these off. So these are my extra copies of Titanic on VHS. There's a man in Florida who's trying to collect 1 million of these, so every time I see a copy for cheap, like this one I paid 99 cents for, every time I see a copy, I buy it, and when I get enough, I ship it off to him to help him build his collection. If you guys are interested, if you have extra copies of Titanic on VHS, look up Titanic Fan 97. Believe me, it's awesome. He already owns over 5,500 of these things. Not really much to talk about for these. These are just my DVDs. I've had DVDs as long as DVDs have existed practically. My very first DVD that my family ever got was this copy of Toy Story and Toy Story 2. The day that this released on home video, my family went to Best Buy, bought this exact package and a DVD player, and this has been in my possession ever since. So when was 2000? 26 years ago, I've had this DVD, and this is where my love of collecting discs started. We had collected VHS tapes before that. You saw the giant shelf of recorded tapes, and after this segment, you'll also see my my pile of clamshells from Disney. But I've been doing this my whole life, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, so you can see all my DVDs here. I got a wide variety of stuff. You can get a pretty good idea of my taste just by looking at me. You know, so like, for example, I've got all of the Balto films, underrated series. It was so cool. We went to Nome, Alaska in 2024, which was a year shy of the 100th anniversary of the event. But then I've also got like a Beautiful Mind and let's see, Ben-Hur. In fact, right now I'm actually holding the oldest film that I own. Not Ben-Hur itself, but this comes with a bonus disc that includes the original version that was made in 1925. So the oldest film I own in my collection is over 100 years old. Kind of nuts. But yeah, you can get just a really good idea of my tastes and interests. I'm not really one to blind buy stuff. I usually, for the most part, get stuff that I know I'm going to enjoy. And a lot of this was also inherited by me, and I've, over the years, gotten rid of stuff that I don't really care that much about. So on any given day, if I'm bored, I could probably throw a stick at this shelf, at any of these shelves, and watch whatever it lands on. This is a curated collection. That's the way that I view it. Over here, one of the last sections are just some more TV shows that I didn't have when I put that shelf up. So like, I just got Family Guy seasons 1 and 2 a few weeks ago for an after Christmas sale. West Wing season 2, Get Smart, some random stuff here like this. So this is a DVD that my family bought when we actually went to Grand Tetons in Yellowstone, and my family, I guess my parents, wanted to remember the trip, so they just bought this DVD. Is this something that I would actually watch? Probably not, but, you know, that's partly because I live so close to the Grand Tetons and to Yellowstone now, I could just drive there and see it. But anyway, a random collection of documentary stuff. And then the bottom here are my retail VHS tapes. So, probably see this and wondering what that is. Well, that is a collector's edition of Gone with the Wind. This was the very first time that I watched it. Hi, Binks.
God is back again.
You want to help me film this? This was the very first time that I ever saw this, was by watching this very tape. Only last year, if you can believe it. So it's a giant collector's edition on 2 tapes. And yeah, I believe, if I remember right, Warner Brothers announced that they're finally releasing that film on 4K this year. Anyway, we got all my other retail VHS tapes. There's not many of them. I've never really been a VHS guy aside from Disney, but they are here. And again, they're a perfectly valid way of watching the films. So like, for example, I don't have a better way of watching The Mask of Zorro, but the VHS, this is still a perfectly good way of doing it. It sounds great through my sound system. It looks great on my TV. Now, could it be better? Obviously. But VHS is still perfectly valid. On the other side of the room here are, well, there's two different displays. So right here we have my VHS clamshell collection, and over here, well, we got my 3D printed Cubone here at the top, as well as this oversized LaserDisc of Fantasia, but that actually is a pretty good indication of what the rest of this is. So this top shelf is my LaserDisc collection. I showed this off in a video in, what was it, 2023 now, 2024. I showed off every single LaserDisc I have. I don't think I've added any since then. Maybe I've added one or two. If I have, I can't remember. So anyway, I love collecting LaserDiscs. These are still a perfectly valid way of watching movies. LaserDiscs were, well, they're about the size of vinyl records, if I were to just take out a random one here. So let's just say The Hunt for Red October. It's the size of a vinyl record, but it plays like a DVD. It's not exactly a DVD, it's analog, not digital. So it's closer to a VHS tape than a DVD, but still, I love LaserDiscs. And what's great is that a lot of these were encoded with surround sound. So with my new surround sound setup, I'm actually able to watch these films and enjoy them with pure digital surround, which is kind of crazy to think in this day and age that I'm able to do that. I fully plan on filling up this shelf as well with more discs in the future. Right now, got the light switch right there. It's the only way, yeah, it's the only place that I could figure out where to put this. Anyway, I will fill this little cubby up with more discs in the future. And then right here we have my Lonely CED of Dumbo. I found this for $5. I don't have a CED player, but hey, I just love the idea that I do own one if I ever get a player. And the rest of these shelves are actually vinyl records, a wide variety of vinyl records. Most of these I inherited from my parents, but these are my personal favorites. So we got a wide variety of like video game soundtracks here, got movie soundtracks, of course. Man, you guys need to listen to the soundtrack for Tron Legacy on vinyl if you haven't. Then we got my picture disc of Zootopia and the single from Zootopia 2. So yeah, that's what this shelf is. I forget exactly what this is called. I'd like to say it's a Kamex media shelf, but I could be wrong. Anyway, over here are my VHS clamshells. I'll do a proper video showing these off individually in the future, but as you can see, they are too deep. I just don't have a better way of storing these, at least not right now, maybe in the future. I have the forward-facing ones. These are the Disney animation films in chronological order. So yeah, I am missing a few films. The one that comes to mind is Make Mine Music, which goes somewhere around there. I'm also missing a lot of the later films like Treasure Planet and Brother Bear. Those will go down there eventually. But anyway, so we got the Disney animation movies in release order. Something that really stands out here is actually this. This is a widescreen release of Lady and the Tramp. Bet a lot of you didn't even know that existed. Pretty sure a lot of you don't even care either. Anyway, and that goes up to where Disney animation ends, which is right here. Then we have all the Pixar films, and these are the only Pixar films that released on clamshell, was these 5 right here. Then we got the Disney Toon theatrical films. Then we got direct-to-video sequels going down there. Then we got some live action films. We got Buzz Lightyear, Star Command. Man, I remember when this came out. This is my actual tape. The Balto films, I love those films. Anime, Pokemon, basically. Yeah. And then in the back, behind all those, is my duplicates and other films that I just didn't feel like displaying because I didn't feel they were important. So here, for example, we've got all my extra copies of Dumbo. In fact, I think that Masterpiece Collection copy is my actual childhood copy of Dumbo. This is the classics version. Since it released first, that's what's here. And we just got a wide variety of stuff in the back across all 4 shelves. So yeah, VHS clamshells, LaserDiscs, vinyl records. That's what this corner is. It's a pretty good corner. Out of the way, not really in a place where it'll get in people's way. Easily accessible if I need to get an older film that I don't have in a newer format. Yeah, this is a very nice corner. That's what I gotta say. And of course, Cubone. And finally, upstairs in my office is my Zootopia collection. So, I made a whole other video about this, showing off each copy individually over on my Zootopia home video channel. So if you want more information on this, go check that out. As of right now, I own 102 official copies of Zootopia. It was my favorite film of all time until just a month or two ago when Zootopia 2 released and became my new favorite film of all time. And this is where I keep all of my copies of Zootopia. I'm sure that it will continue to grow throughout 2026. So that's it. That is my movie collection and setup and all that stuff. I want to thank everyone who made it this far. Please remember to leave a like and consider subscribing because I'm going to go into detail in future videos on most of the stuff that you guys have seen in this video. I had a lot of fun showing it off. I don't know if I'll do it again next year or not, but you know, whenever I feel like I've got more to show off, I will. I love collecting movies. I love movies. Okay, the number one thing that I love more than actually piling them up and having them collect dust on my shelf is watching them and enjoying them. And I feel very blessed that I am in a position where I can do that. Please, once again, leave a comment letting me know what you'd like to see in the future, as well as let me know what your movie collection looks like. I can't wait to read them. That'll do it for this video. Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more. Can you see the Zootopia 2 poster behind me?
Yeah.
All right. What's a movie collection without a nice screen to look it on, to watch it on, to start it over? How's it going, YouTube? This is Skul, and welcome to my movie collection tour of 2026. First question I've got to ask you guys is,